So let's get the perspective of that, because that perspective is very important, and you are the one who can give us that. Charlotte today's Euguene Robinson. You played in the NFL for 16 seasons.
Yes.
It was an emotional night for everybody. You have been in situations where this happens, not this exact thing, but where something devastating happens on the field.
Yes, it's typically like a routine hit. I mean, I've made that tackle hundreds of times, and I've walked away and gotten up. But something's different from like when you tear your ACL or you tear a hamstring or something like that. Something's a little bit different because when he fell backwards, that was strange for everyone on the field because that's not supposed to happen when you get up. And so when you saw that, we knew as players that there is something going on, there's some trauma going on, and we need to get him some help immediately. And then you feel for that. Don't forget, he's in that locker room, he's in the meeting room, there's a brotherhood with the safeties, there's a communication that's unsaid, nuanced idiosyncrasies that you know, and now that your brother is hurt, everything stops because you got to make sure that he's going to be okay.
Right, and the game of football is no longer important.
No.
This is about a human, a person's life, a 24-year-old who I think, you know, the sentiment is, as a football player, I'm not one, you are, but I think it's safe to say you go out there, you play your heart out,
yes.
You play hard, you're
yes.
aggressive, but the one thing that you all have in common is you want to go home to your families.
Exactly, and you're absolutely right because everyone plays hard. And when you saw all the players on the field from Cincinnati and the Bills, is that we share the same common thing. We all want to play hard, but we know that we're vulnerable and that you can be jeopardized at some point in time. You can jeopardize your career because you're hurt. And when we saw that, everyone stopped and took a moment because they know that that could be themselves and they see themselves in that. And so that's why everything stops. It was like, look, what do we have to do? And everybody's taking a knee to pray.
I mean, the thing is
Yes.
this, change. What will change from this? Because yes, is this a freak accident, so to speak? Yes, it's rare. You just heard Vanessa speak on that. But there is a chance that it can happen. There is a risk. Risk is what you guys deal with on that field.
Yes.
You go into it knowing that something bad could happen.
Yes, but let me just commend the National Football League because I know they would want to go ahead and play the game. This is an important game. It's going to determine who's first. That did not matter at all. They stopped the entire proceeds of that. That was great. That was one of the shining. It's progress. That's one of the shining moments. And now I would think the back end of it, of what they're going to do, and trying to find out from doctors how can they prevent things like this happening. Maybe there is equipment, a device that you can do. Maybe there's something that you can put on to add on to your equipment,
right,
with your shoulder pads. I bet you every part of that, they're going to be looking into that to see how they can mitigate and change the outcome of what we saw last night.
And I think just as fans, we need to realize that this is a game we love. We are so tied to it. It's part of who we are. But we have to remember that this is entertainment for us, but this is life and death in certain cases for the players.
And I was great. It was so good to see that fans showed up to the hospital.
Yeah.
You saw Bills and Bengals fans showed up to the hospital to go ahead and support one of the comrades in arms who's fallen, if you will. And so I love seeing that because the fans knew that this is far beyond a football game. This is about someone's life. When you play a game of football, you expect to go home, right? And to have that in jeopardy is very, very scary.
Euguene Robinson, thank you so much. Your insight always valuable.